So moving forward, here I'll be explaining one of my favorite study technique which was used by the famous physicist Richard Feynman. Anybody from the science background must be knowing who is Richard Feynman. He is the famous physicist who has an immense amount of contributions to the world of physics. So the way he studied, he has explained in detail. So let's get started. Step 1. Identify the subject. Keep adding up new information you read about the subject or a topic or a concept. So here, Richard Feynman says that always keep a page or a notebook with yourself when you kind of start learning about a particular subject or a concept. In this digital world, we kind of do come across lots of articles, newspapers, everything related to various other social issues, concepts, different vocabularies we get to understand. You have to make a compiled notebook for that particular subject or a topic or anything like that, and keep adding up to the notebook the information you get about that particular subject or a topic. You should keep adding to it, because at the end of the day or the end of the month, when you go through that particular notebook, you will be able to recall most of the informations, and it would be easier for you to even compile it and learn it accordingly. So first step is to keep adding up the information. That means it will keep you updated about that particular subject and the new information which has came along for that particular subject. So this one is really beneficial. And the second step is to teach to a child. What the Richard Feynman techniques indicates here is that simplify a concept in such a way that even a 5 or 6-year-old child can understand what you are talking about. This kind of does take a real amount of critical thinking ability to pursue this particular concept, because once you know how to do it and how to simplify that particular concept, you are way ahead than anybody else. Because when you simplify that particular concept, you kind of get that critical thinking ability to, you use the mind, the brain, and more informations inside your brain, that to simplify and make efforts to simplify and make that concept easy for a 5 or 6-year child to understand. For example, just for instance, if you are explaining the national income or the GDP concept to a 5-year or 6-year-old child, how are you going to explain him? Obviously, you're going to explain him with some of the basic examples, like he has get some chocolates, or he has got some of the amount of chocolates, and then he have to count them, all of these things. So just the basic information I'm giving here is that you will be more specific about every word which is written in that concept, right? So that is utmost important thing here when understanding that particular concept and breaking down into simplification of that particular concept. So here there are some basic things you need to understand before simplifying that concept, is that speaking in plain terms. Here, avoid using the jargons, lexicon, or dense vocabulary. I mean, a 5 or 6-year child not going to understand what these big words mean, right? So avoid using those and make it simplify it. So, and because of using this thing, I think Richard Feynman that's the reason he is known as a great explainer. He was able to explain any difficult concept, any difficult term in such a simplest manner that anybody was able to understand it. In fact, this step kind of help us to increase our critical thinking ability in any situation. because that time our brain kind of moves faster and try to get more information, compile those, collaborate those, use those information accordingly, which we kind of never do because we are just hanging there, handed in the concept, and then we just kind of mug up, right? That's not the right thing to do. So, and the second thing while using this second step is that keep the explanation short and simple. So, what does this mean? Brevity. Keep them. Uh, Brevity means keeping that short span of time. So, in short span of time, you have to explain that particular concept to a 5 or 6 year old child in a simplest way possible. Because a 5 or 6 year old child obviously will not keep you listening to you for hours or so, because the mental ability of the 5 or 6 year old kid can be like for just like 5 to 6 or 10 minutes per se. So you have to keep your explanation very short and simple for a child to understand it real quick. So this is the most important things to understand before going to, simplify the concept. You have to make sure these are the things were included when you make a specific definition or specific explanation for the learnings you have done. Also, here I have mentioned that do not hide your don't know things by using dense vocabulary. Most of the time, people use such vocabularies even because they are not actually understand that particular concept, but they don't want to show it that they don't had not understand it. I mean, it's okay to not understand a particular concept and learn from somebody else, but do not hide it, because hiding and being shy about the things you don't know, it's not going to make you move forward. It is going to just pause your learnings there, just right there. You can't like just say okay, I know it but I do not remember it, just lying about the things. It's not going to help you go anywhere. So do not hide the things which you don't know. Just say it, and I'll tell you what to do with the things you don't know about, because Richard Feynman has given us the solution for that too. And the solution is the third step, is that identify the knowledge gap. So what Richard Feynman used to do in the start when he was in the university is that he used to make a notebook, a very fresh notebook, and write a title on it. On the fresh page, he used to write a title that a notebook of the things I don't know about. In fact, Richard Feynman used to make this notebook of the things he don't know about. And when he used to make this notebook, the things which he does not know about, he used to compile those with the learnings, the things he knows and the things he doesn't know. And then he used to collaborate with assemble those things and identify the knowledge gap he has got, and then start working on that. This is the best way to understand the knowledge gap, because knowing what you don't know is the most important thing to understand where you lack. This is the best way possible for you to understand basic topics which at some point we kind of just fade away or just be ignorant about some things in that manner, because we just feel it's not important and we just don't do it, or we just don't learn about it. So here, this knowledge gap, we can identify it and start working on it, because the things we know and the things we don't know about, if assembled together, there will be some of the topics which will be you know uh, compiled together and made it more effective way to learn. This is how I think the researchers, the scientists kind of make the experiments and the things actually work, by understanding the gaps. understanding the knowledge gap is the utmost important thing, be it being a researcher, be it a student, or anybody else, because this kind of activities are going to make you stand out from the average students, that is for sure. And the step 4 is to organize plus simplify plus tell a story. Now, organizing is just what we have understood in the step 1, like keep a notebook about a subject or a particular topic and keep adding those information. That is kind of organizing your notes, and then simplifying it by, simplifying it in such a way that you are explaining to a child. And then the new addition to it is tell a story. So this telling a story and making a story out of the concept to make it simplifying, it will help you to recall and memorize the read concept. Obviously, when we read that particular textbook or a book, we hardly remember anything we have read for 3 to 4 hours, or it can be differentiated. But whenever we watch a movie or we listen to a song or something like that, we are intent to grab more of the movies and songs which we do rather than what we have learned. So making a story of that particular concept will help you to understand that particular subject easily, and it will help you to recall and memorize. Here there will be no mugging up things, there will be no 5 times 6 times writing that concept to get into your brain and then you can just omit it to the exam. No, you can't do that. It's a wrong way to study anyway. So here are some important points to jot in the points. Step 4 is that piece together your notes and begin to spin a tale using concise explanation. So here here this point suggests that the information that you have assembled, just go through it, start linking every information back to back, and then kind of make a tale out of it, a story, a short story. So here also there will be some efforts needed to make the explanation or make a story really effective, but the efforts that you put to understand that particular concept will help you to grasp that concept as soon as possible and make it like kind of get stuck into your head, like it's not gonna go away anyway, because we are intent to forget everything we read after giving the examination. So this, using this technique, it won't happen for sure. And the practice reading your story out loud, pretend to tell the story to a classroom of students. So here also we can say that the previous thing the Carl Newport suggested that read out loud and pretend that you are giving some kind of a lecture or speech to the large audience about explaining that particular concept that you have read currently. So even here Richard Feynman suggests the same, but here he tells us to tell a story which we have made. Tell a story of that particular concept to the classroom of students, because students tend to ask questions, have difficulty understanding that concept. Now that you're a teacher and you are explaining that particular concept to the classroom, you should be ready enough to actually whatever questions that comes up about that concept, you are able to answer it. That's how you should prepare any of the subject or the concepts so thoroughly. These are the efforts that we go through studying a lot. So I think, and also here this concept which I have made, I have also kind of tried to explaining the same way in the opportunity cost, the video which I have made on the opportunity cost. I have tried to explain it in connecting the opportunity cost concept to the real life example of a student who has just graduated and has two options. So I will just give you the link below about the opportunity cost video. You can go through the same. And the reason behind starting the YouTube channel and giving all of this informations accordingly, it is really beneficial, because if you explain anything to somebody else, they things kind of are more simplified in your head. It makes you more confident about your communication skills and the how quick you are able to understand what you have read, and how are you able to understand it. Because when I make a particular video, it is very useful for me to understand the loopholes or the knowledge gaps which I have, and this is helpful for me. It is helping me throughout, and I hope it will help you too. And the reason behind making this video, this is definitely not related to economics, but I just thought of sharing this because I have been using this uh, these kind of study techniques lately, and it is really highly affecting. I just want to share it because study does take efforts. Everybody has come here to make efforts, so just make the best out of it as much as possible, because there is no alternative for hard work. As cliche as it sounds, it's just true in the real life. So I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.